This is the Back to School Night program for 2021. So we are really excited to be able to host you here tonight. And we are not only back, but we are back with pride. Yes, that's right. That is the theme for the year. Back with pride. Of course, it's a little play on words. The fact that we are the Lions group there is a pride, but it means so much more than that because pride has been one of those acronyms that we have attached significance to. And you can see that Howard pride. We hope that all students at Howard High School show personal purpose, that they show what it means to be involved in a respectful relationship, that they demonstrate individual integrity, that they show and demonstrate disciplined decisions, and of course, enthusiastic engagement and all the great things that we have here. So we are definitely back with pride, and we hope that the students and you as parents as well can really engage in all the things that Howard High School has to offer. So, if you are new to the school system, or perhaps somehow you missed some of these things in previous years, there's a lot of great news and information that the school and the school system can give you there. You'll get lots of emails through School News Messenger, HCPSS News. Through the school system website, you can find out a lot of information. It is a great resource. We have our own school website that you can check on school news, calendar, sports, clubs, staff directory, and more. So that is definitely a spot for you to find a lot of information. Also, ways to be able to follow along with things that are going on at Howard High School and in the county are social media sites. So whether that's the Howard Twitter, HCPSS Twitter, Instagram, Flickr, you can obviously follow and see what Dr. Matarano, our superintendent, is doing through his Twitter page. If you want to follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, the account is Principal Novak. So I know that as school has started up, I've been a little lax in getting getting things posted, but I promised that I would try to be more up and ready. As so there's a lot more things going on, and so keep you in the loop with things happening here at Howard High School. You definitely want to be able to stay abreast of all the school closings, delays, things like that. So you can see hotlines on there to call, or you can follow along, whether it's on TV or even like go on the website and see those notifications that come out with school closings and delays. Hope we're not going to have any of those until at least in the winter there. So, if you have not met my administrative team, you will hopefully get a chance to see them at some point, whether that's tonight or throughout the year. The assistant principals and athletics activities manager, our leadership intern, who's also represented here, and of course, my secretary, Miss Adams, there. So, all of these folks are phenomenal people who make a huge difference in making our students, our staff, and our just whole experience here a pleasant one. So they are contacts, and you can definitely see the alphabetic range for our students. So that would be your best point of contact. If you have questions about anything, they can refer you, whether it's to a counselor, teacher, address the issue themselves. So feel free to reach out to any of these folks if you ever have questions or concerns. We are not alone, obviously, in the work that we do. Mentioned our wonderful counselors, and you can see that those names are represented here. We do have two ninth grade counselors who deal specifically with ninth grade students, so they divide up the alphabet. And then the remainder of our counselors are for 10th through 12th grade, and you can see that their alphabetic ranges are listed after their names. In addition to our school counselors, we also have a school psychologist, a BSAP liaison, and we have a pupil personnel worker, Miss Jones, is actually new to the school this year. Not new to the school system, lots of experience, but new to Howard High School this year. So these are all folks that if you need some help, whether it's mental health related, whether it's any kind of issues that would fall under that category of counselors, so college counseling, career counseling, like I said, just guidance in general. That so they provide a lot of different supports to our students. If you have not gone on and done it already, you need to go to HCPSS Connect. You probably want there to see your schedule, and so your students were able to see their schedules and get on Canvas starting today, or yesterday for the schedule, and then Canvas starting today. but you also need to make sure you go on to the family file so that you can update that. That is information that needs to be updated yearly. So this is where you go for parent contacts, medical data, after school transportation, whether you're opting out of things like data privacy, like you don't want your child to be photographed, things like that. So all that information needs to go on there. It's also important for you to review who are your emergency contacts. If there's something going on and someone needs to be called, who do we have that number? So we need to make sure that you go on and look for that family file update. At this point, I think we only had about 50-55% of our families who have completed that. So please, please, please go on and update your family file. It's important for us as your students are in the building. We need to know and have that information. So please go on and do that today. Something else for you to be considering is, have you updated your application for free and reduced price meals? The form is due by October 31st, and it's really important. We know that the pandemic has had a big impact on a lot of families, causing people to lose their jobs, or where you might not have been someone who had qualified before. You're now in that situation, and we want to make sure that we're able to provide the supports that are available to you. Now, I will say that all students, not just students who have filled out forms, would be able to get free lunch this year. Not just free lunch, but also free breakfast. So the federal government has put into place that schools will be able to provide all students with free breakfast and free lunch. So you kind of ask, well, why would I want to be able to fill this out? Well, it's not just the free meals that you would be able to benefit from. So there would be free or reduced cost health insurance, tuition at HCC. You'd be able to have the SAT, ACT, and AP exam fees reduced or waived, reductions in camp, sports, and childcare, and a lot of other benefits. So go on that site if you're someone who, like I said, is in a situation where you feel like you need to explore that option. Please do so. We want to make sure that you get all the benefits afforded to you through that program. If you want information about fall instruction, you can go online to that website there, www.hcpss.org, and 2021 2022. Some general information and updates about what is expected for this year with fall instruction as we return to the buildings. There's also a lot of great frequently asked questions. There's a whole area on health and safety, COVID. So we had a great session this morning with parents, and being able to provide a lot of answers to questions that were posed. Perhaps you didn't get a chance to ask a question, or maybe you just want to be able to see some stuff in writing. Go to that help.hcpss.org website, and you'll be able to see many of your questions answered on that site. I'm going to be including some information here that is going to be shared with students the first day. So parents, you actually get a little bit of a preview of this, but we want to make sure that kind of how things work. And that's what we want to share with students. They've been out of school, school building for some time. For some, they're obviously coming in new, and it's like, all right, how do things work here at Howard High School? So we're going to be sharing a few things with them. And the first is just that arrival to school. So we have a drop off lane, we have a bus lane, and then we have the parking lot. And it's important to make sure that we are not entering the bus lane all the way at the front of the school building, because obviously a lot of buses are going to be coming in and out each morning. If you're riding the bus, make sure you're getting off quickly and walking over to the sidewalk where they drop you off. If you are dropping off your student in the morning, please pull forward as far as you can. So the drop off lane goes all the way down there. What we don't want you to do is stop right there at the gym or the auditorium and let off over there, because what you do now is you basically block everyone from moving forward. So we do not want a big backup on 108. So please pull forward, have your student exit the car as quickly as possible, use those crosswalks, and watch for bus traffic. If you are walking to school, so cross only in the crosswalks. It's been fantastic that they just recently added one that's right across from the 7-Eleven there, a little further closer to that spot. So you have that one right there, and you also have one on the corner coming from the Royal Farms over towards Howard High School. So please make sure you're using crosswalks and watch for bus traffic. Before school routines. So the building is going to be opening up probably around 6:30 a.m. That's when our first buses are going to be arriving. One of the things I shared with parents this morning is that due to the bus driver shortage, we're going to have some buses that are going to have to run double routes. So we're going to have them dropping off one batch of students and then going out and getting another run of for students. So the building will be open at 6:30. Any student who is in the school at that time, we're basically saying you need to go down to the cafeteria. As I had mentioned before, cafeteria is open for free breakfast. It's also a spot where students can go, start working on some assignments, talk to friends, hang out. But we will have anything before 7 a.m. report to the cafeteria. We want to emphasize to students, and we will be, and you can obviously back this up. No sitting on the floor of the hallways. We want to make sure that we can pass through the halls with all the people in there. Food and drink is only allowed in the cafeteria, and we want to make sure that students are maintaining their social distance and wearing their masks at all times. 7:10 is when students will be able to report to their classrooms. That's when teachers are available. If they've made appointments with teachers before that time, they can definitely go. But in general, teachers are really not on duty until 7:10 a.m. First bell rings at 7:20. That's that warning bell saying, "Hey, you got 5 minutes to get to class." And of course, then 7:25, all students should be in their first period classes. For attendance, so absences are considered unexcused until documentation is received or approved. So you can email those notes to this website, right? Or is the email address there? HOHSabsence at hcpss.org. So make sure that you are sending your emails from the email address that is in Synergy. Okay, so that will be the indication that this is the acceptable email address. Include your student's full name, date of absences, reason for absence, and this is that information that will be helpful for our attendance secretary to be able to document whether it's a excused or unexcused absence. If you're coming in late, so this is a change in procedure. Some of the folks who have been around know that we used to have a tardy table up at the front. We are changing our process, many of it because of impact of COVID, but we are having students report directly to their first period class. We'll be sharing with students that there is a form for them to fill out if they are late. So they can access it on their Chromebook, they can access it on their phone, but it's essentially just to be able to document what they came in at. If they did have a note with them, they can share that note. That's a late note. But it's essentially a way of being able to collect some of that tardy information quickly. We obviously addressed a lot of information this morning at our orientation about mask guidelines, but just to reiterate, it is the expectation not only of the Howard County Public School System, but now the state of Maryland is for the all schools in Maryland being able to have that mask mandate. So whether you're a student, whether you're a visitor, regardless of your vaccination status, all students and staff, everyone in the building needs to be wearing masks. Covering the nose and the mouth. This includes school buses as well. The exceptions to this are going to be down at lunch when students are eating. So, cafeteria, atrium area, able to take off masks. They are not required outdoors, but definitely it's one where you want to be recommended for unvaccinated individuals. If you're around a lot of folks and you're, like I said, in close contact, it is something that you might want to consider. But we will have, once you go outside, taking that mask off is definitely something that you're able to do. Continuing with some of the practices that will help us keep safe throughout this year, hand sanitizer and cleaning. So we have hand sanitizer stations that are dispersed around the school. We also have hand sanitizer in each classroom, and so the ability to come into a classroom and use the hand sanitizer as you enter. Also, being able to have wipes to be able to wipe down desks and other surfaces that are being used. So we want to make sure that we can reduce that transmission there. This will also include in cafeteria. What we'll explain to students is that during lunch they'll be able to clean up their trash, and then the custodians will take care of the cleaning of the tables. We addressed some of this there, but just to note that when weather permitting, students are able to go out into the senior courtyard if they're a senior. We're going to have some tables put out on the atrium patio, and then we'll also have some folding chairs, like the camp chairs, available for students to be able to take out into the front of the building or also near the atrium. So some grassy areas where students can take that out, enjoy some fresh air, and then also be able to eat outside. So key thing for lunch, and please share this with your students. Hopefully they don't do this at home as well. I know my son is notorious for leaving his trash around. We want to make sure wherever we are, we're throwing away our trash, taking care of our own items that we have to, leave behind there. Don't want to just leave them on the table, put them in the trash can. So this concludes a lot of our general information for today. These are the things that we want to be able to talk about, so that you have a great year, that your students have a great year. We did have a chance, like I said earlier today, to hear from our PTSA and our boosters organization. So I hope that you take advantage of joining those groups. I'll be around tonight in between classes. You might see me or see one of the members of my admin team. If you have any questions, feel free to hit us up. And if not tonight, then at some point throughout the year. But we're really excited to have you back, and we hope that you have a great night. Take care.